Week 6 of the NFL schedule for the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars will be taking place this Sunday in London, as the Jags are currently 0-5, look to get their first professional win with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. And the Brian Flores-led Miami Dolphins have not won a game since week 1 of the NFL schedule, as they look to bounce back with Tua Tagovailoa possibly returning off of injury. Now, when I do these preview videos, I always love to talk about the opposing team first, and that comes with the Miami Dolphins. As I just briefly stated, Tua Tagovailoa has returned to practice after suffering fractured ribs week 2 of the NFL schedule versus the Buffalo Bills, and he's looking to play this Sunday, and he is expected to play this Sunday versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. That is going to be a huge upgrade at the quarterback position for the Miami Dolphins over Jacoby Brissett. And the Dolphins honestly need to go out there and protect Tua Tagovailoa. This guy's been injury riddled since his days at Alabama. Of course, he just suffered this other injury again with these fractured ribs. Even though he was only out a couple of weeks, they need to go out there and protect Tua Tagovailoa, their first round pick quarterback. And I know a lot of Dolphins fans out there are kicking themselves in the foot because it looks bad on Brian Flores because he selected Tua Tagovailoa over Justin Herbert, and we see the amazing things Justin Herbert's doing and probably going to ascend to a top 5 quarterback before we even realize it. This guy may end up being in the MVP conversation at the end of the season. Dolphins fans need to go out there and support their young guy and support this roster while they have Tua Tagovailoa healthy, and Brian Flores is there. I believe that he's a phenomenal coach. And a huge reason why I bring up protecting Tua is not just because he is your quarterback and he's a young guy who's also been injury riddled. You think about it, Jacoby Brissett in the handful of games he's played with the Dolphins just this season has already been sacked 12 times. The Jags need to get after Tua, but the Dolphins need to get back there and protect their young guy, because that is not acceptable. Brissett being sacked 12 times, I understand he's not as mobile as Tua, but that is not acceptable if you're a Dolphins fan. Now, when we go on to the Dolphins' defensive side of the ball, the Dolphins have forced 6 forced fumbles this season so far, and they've recovered 4 from. The Jags are the only team in the NFL with 0 forced fumbles and 0 fumble recoveries. The Jags need to go out there and create turnovers, but the Dolphins are very good of creating forced fumbles, as we saw with Dan Arnold last Sunday versus the Tennessee Titans. In the first minute of the game, catches the ball, Kevin Byard scoops up the fumble recovery and takes it home for 6 points for a touchdown. Something the Dolphins are really bad at back on the offensive side of the ball is they are number 32 in team rushing yards this season. Only 352 rushing yards on the season when it comes to the Miami Dolphins. That is dead last in the NFL. And the Jags' run defense has been stout, to say none the least, this season. I understand Derrick Henry had 100+ yards last Sunday versus the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Derrick Henry really did not have the monstrous performance that we typically see from him versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand he did have a handful of touchdowns as well when it comes to the game, but the Jags' run defense has been significantly better this season in comparison to last. The Jags need to get there and stop Myles Gaskin and the rest of the rushing offense for the Miami Dolphins, and the Dolphins need to go out there and play a lot better when it comes to rushing the ball. Now, when we transition into the Jaguars side of things, there's 3 key things I really want to point out when it comes to this game in order to get a victory. The first thing is you got to keep feeding James Robinson the ball. You saw it last week. He played phenomenal versus the Tennessee Titans, but James Robinson on the season so far, 387 yards, 4 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.8 yards per carry, which is number 2 in the NFL, number 4 in rushing as well. The Jags got to continue to utilize James Robinson, chew up the clock, chew up time of possession, control the tempo, and they need to go out there and play a great game with James Robinson, even with Brandon Linder on IR now. So the second thing with the Jags is always going to come back to first-year quarterback Trevor Lawrence, aka Mr. Sunshine back there, who went 23 of 33 last week. Very good accuracy and great poise in the pocket from a guy like Trevor Lawrence last week. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I don't really count that interception. It was towards the end of the game. It was garbage time. Nobody really cares. Point is, Trevor Lawrence still has 8 interceptions on the year, but he has gotten better every single week. You see him getting more comfortable with the guys in the locker room. You see him getting more control of the offense, and also just him utilizing his legs a lot more. That's credit to Urban Meyer and Darrell Bevel and Trevor Lawrence for actually being more aware of the pocket and actually just getting more comfortable within the offense. And that's something I think Trevor Lawrence does very well. I do believe that rushing touchdown that was called back on 3rd and goal last week by Trevor Lawrence was a touchdown. Not even going to get into that. But Trevor Lawrence has got to go out there and continue to play turnover-free and good, high-efficient football in order for the Jags to win. And the third thing I want to point out with the Jags is K'Lavon Chaisson. I've been a big supporter of Chaisson since the second half of last year when he really turned things on and he picked things up at the end of his rookie year. Then this year, I think Chaisson's played great because I've been specifically having my eye on him a lot more on these defensive snaps, regardless if it's on TV or if I'm at these games. Chaisson, I think, has done a great job for the time being, the time that he's gotten. Last week, 6 tackles, 2 for a loss, and a sack. He did have that forced fumble, but of course, as Jag fans, we know the refs called that an incomplete pass on Ryan Tannehill. That is neither here nor there. But K'Lavon Chaisson, during his press conference this week, said consistency is the biggest thing for him in order to continue to go out there and help the Jags win consistently week in and week out. We need to see Chaisson out there, our first round pick, going out there and continuing to be productive for this team, because I believe he has the talent and the ability to, and especially versus a Miami Dolphins offensive line that has allowed 12 sacks to Jacoby Brissett through the first handful of weeks of the season. The Jags and Chaisson need to go out there and get after Tua Tagovailoa. I believe that the Jags need to create turnovers in order to go out there and win these games. I understand we don't have the home crowd with us. We're going to be in London, but the Jags have created one defensive turnover with Andrew Wingard's lone interception this week versus Kyler Murray. The Jags need to go out there, create turnovers, get after Tua Tagovailoa, and I actually believe that this is a week where the Jags can go out there and actually maybe have 1 or 2 turnovers created on the defensive side of the ball, regardless if it's fumble recoveries or interception. I believe that the Jags pass rush will be able to get home and sack the quarterback, but also that's going to create some confusion in the pocket for Tua Tagovailoa, and I believe that the Jags can go out there and get some interceptions. On a positive note, though, I do want to say that when it comes to the Miami Dolphins, I'm going to put this on record right now. I believe that the Dolphins are a Super Bowl contending roster. Not right now with Tua Tagovailoa quarterback, but if they're able to land Deshaun Watson amid all his allegations, and we assume everything's well, or Aaron Rodgers somehow leaves the Packers next offseason, whatever the case may be, I believe that the Dolphins are a Super Bowl contending roster. I believe in Brian Flores. I believe in his ability to gather guys around him and make people buy into what he's preaching and what he's coaching down in Miami. Players want to come live in Miami. Players want to come and live in a no state income tax state. People want to go to Miami. People want to play for Brian Flores, and I believe in this team. They have so many studs on this team. Of course, they had Jalen Phillips this year, Jalen Waddle, and they're just loaded with talent. And a few years ago, we were asking ourselves, is this Dolphins team going to be the worst team in football? They ended up going 5-11 towards the back half of the season. Week 17, up in Foxborough, they beat Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, and that was a critical game for the New England Patriots to win. That was possibly, I think, a first-round playoff berth where they could have had a first-round bye. Don't quote me on that. Then the following season, the Dolphins end up going 10-6. And then the Dolphins barely missed the playoffs last season. Now this year, they're off to a slow start. They're 1-4 as we speak, but Brian Flores is a phenomenal coach. I understand Dolphin fans are upset watching Justin Herbert go and ball out. Forget that. You guys need to go out there and support Tua, support Brian Flores for now. I understand it's difficult. Jag fans have passed on a lot of great quarterbacks and a lot of great players in the past, but everything happens for a reason. And I promise you, the Dolphins land their top quarterback when that time comes. If Tua ends up being that guy, or if they'll go out and get Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers, whatever top quarterback it may be, the Dolphins are a Super Bowl contender next year. Mark my words on that. But that's it for this video. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. Dolphin fans, Jaguar fans, let me know in the comments what you guys are expecting from this game, and drop a score prediction down below as well. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and comments down below. And also, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys like, turn on notifications, and hit that subscribe bell for me to stay tuned for more Jacksonville Jaguars and NBA content that I do here on YouTube as well. But that's it for this video. It's been real, y'all. 904 Bold City Duval, baby. Brett James, a.k.a. BJ.